Hey everyone, welcome to Inside Indiana Overtime. Jordan Gusky, Alex McCarthy, and we're coming to you from Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, beautiful West Lafayette, Indiana, where we watched Indiana finish its regular season with a, gosh, what was it, 56, 54 to 36,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
Win over Purdue, and that clinches not only did Indiana win three straight bucket games for the first time since 1947, but Indiana becomes bowl eligible, 6-6 for the first time since 2007. Obviously, the first time under Kevin Wilson, which is
Huge.
yeah. I mean, it's the biggest day in IU football for many years. So,
Hmm.
um, and it came not necessarily easily, but Indiana
No.
was kind of comfortably ahead for a
Hmm.
lot of this game. It felt, I mean, at times, and there are people on the thread even who said like there are at times where it kind of felt like the Rutgers
Right.
collapse was happening.
Oh, it felt
Indiana
like the
had
whole time.
yeah, Indiana had a couple three and outs, and Purdue was just moving the ball so well
Oh,
offensively. Um, but this was a game that, I mean, Indiana was ahead by for like the whole game,
yeah.
right? I mean, they didn't trail.
No.
Um, I mean, they didn't necessarily control the game, but I
They
don't know, they proved that they're the better team today at
they
least.
they built a big enough lead over there, getting the 24/7 lead, and it obviously helped with Purdue fumbling that ball at like
Yeah,
the 1.5 yard line. And that's something like I remember in the recap is that when you look at that first half and you look at 24-14, that looks really good on paper. But then when you actually kind of delve in and if you watched it and you saw it, Purdue had that missed opportunity for a touchdown. They nearly had a safety on
yes,
Andrew Wilson,
yeah,
and then Andrew Wilson got out. Then they ended up doing a dump off screen to him. Really, not really a screen, just a dump off pass to
yeah,
him.
yeah. On third and
And
ten,
yeah, he got I think like 15 yards, and that really gave him some breather room. They went on to go the rest of the 99 yards
yeah,
for a touchdown, and that's a nine
huge
less
crowd.
points for Purdue, seven more points for Indiana, and that could have easily been 23-17 Purdue at halftime, and that's not a score that any Hoosier fan
Yeah,
would have wanted to see. It's not that IU hasn't come back in the second half before, but that's not something you feel confident in
yeah,
away at a rival game. That's something that Wilson's talking about. He really appreciates these rival games, and one thing that we've seen in rival games across the country in the history of college football is that you can't expect anything.
mm,
That no matter what a team comes into the game, it's going to be a fight, no matter
yeah,
who you play and when you play them.
yeah. It's the whole thing. Records don't matter. Both teams are 0-0 coming into the game, things like that. But obviously, there's a lot more on the line for Indiana today than there was for Purdue. It's similar to I wrote this earlier in the week, but it's similar to a few years ago when Purdue, actually the last time Indiana played here, yeah, in West Lafayette, Purdue was 5-6 at the time and needed to beat its biggest rival to go to a bowl game, and Indiana didn't have anything to play for, and Purdue ended up winning that game. And then the same thing happened today, where Indiana had something to play for, Purdue didn't, other than just kind of trying to play spoiler for its rival, and Indiana got it done. Nate Sudfeld had a huge game. Well, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. Austin Appleby had a really good first half in
Hmm.
terms of completion percentage and things like that, but a lot of his completions were 5 yard outs and really quick kind of underneath things that
Hmm.
Indiana was giving them. So his completion numbers looked really good, but by the end of the game, I mean, Sudfeld had the much better line. He was 18 for 29, 350 yards, four touchdowns, no
Hmm.
interceptions, and he also passed Antoine Randall for the career passing yardage record. Um, so it's really weird that Nate Sudfeld. This is the first season. Well, actually, Nate Sudfeld will never have started a full season for Indiana,
Right.
um, but he has the passing yards touchdown, uh, passing touchdowns or passing yards record, passing touchdowns record,
Hmm.
and is right up there in completion percentage and passer rating all time at IU, which is um, I guess kind of a testament to how the game has changed, how it's become so much more pass heavy, but also just the offenses, the high powered offenses that Indiana's had here, um, since Kevin Wilson arrived in 2011. So, um, obviously a big day for Nate, not only on an individual level, but um, getting to a bowl game. But then Indiana was also, in terms of the rushing attack, Jordan Howard was out for the game,
Right.
but they just used it. You mentioned Andrew Wilson, who had a really
Hmm.
good game. They used this whole kind of running back by committee thing and were able to, I don't know, just kind of control the game in that kind of sense.
Yeah, and Sudfeld talked about it after the game. Each running back kind of has a different kind of skill set to
Mm-hmm.
them. About Wilson's really good with these like inside reads. He's a very smart player, and we saw a lot of that. He made some really great runs. He definitely shows that he can make the second effort getting out of that safety.
Yeah.
And as everyone said, it's cliche, but it's true that it really all comes back down to this offensive line, where it showed that really any running back that they threw in there, where they're not Jordan Howard, and while you would obviously love to have Jordan Howard back in there, that they have enough skilled enough running backs and skilled enough offensive line that they can still push through. They can still get yards. They ran for over 300 yards against Purdue, and while Purdue's a team that necessarily didn't have the best
Yeah.
rushing attack or rushing defense or even passing defense, it's still you're still rushing for over 300
Yeah.
yards against a team, and that's hard to do in 60 minutes. And they also settled a pass for 350 yards. So that's 659 total yards of offense.
Yeah, and pretty
That's
balanced too.
yeah, and it's balanced. I think this is probably the most balanced attack we've seen all year. It came in a game that they really needed it. When they needed to really like slow the clock down in the fourth quarter, they were able to do that. And with guys that not even Divine Redding mostly came in kind of like the first like 3 quarters. Then you saw
Yeah.
a lot of the other guys come in, and that not only speaks to this year, where in the bowl game you'll be confident really with anybody you put in there because they all had great average yards per carry,
Yeah.
except for Ricky Jones and Mitchell Page, who are wide receivers,
Yeah.
who you're not really wouldn't worry about. But it also speaks for further seasons,
Mm.
and obviously this one helps with recruiting. Probably you get to that bowl game, that's always
Right.
something to put in front of the recruits' eyes. But when you have all these running backs that are all underclassmen, being able to run so well, it makes you confident in your program that you're going to be able to be successful for a number of years. Maybe if your passing attack drops off a little bit, you'll know that you'll still have that rushing attack.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And there's certainly a lot of hope for the future with this Indiana team. Nick Mangieri was saying that after the game too, where they've kind of set up this springboard maybe for future years, and and it kind of having a bowl helps you kind of develop younger players because you get to work with them, in more practices
For
and
another
everything
month.
like that. So we're gonna find out, I guess, in a week or so after
Yeah.
the conference championship games,
Next Sunday.
where Indiana's going, when they're gonna be there. Hopefully, we'll be there wherever there is.
Try to
Um,
make it.
yeah, so we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we're going to sign off from West Lafayette. We're going to get out of here, go back to Bloomington. For Jordan Gusky, I'm Alex McCarthy. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving. Have a good rest of your weekend.